Okay, guys, so today we're going to do sort of a longer solving for a variable equation. And it's going to just start with, well, let's just jump into it. So I have, for this specific type of question, I just wrote out the steps for you guys. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to distribute. So if you look at the equation, you have these parentheses, right? And a lot of people see these and they get really sort of frustrated. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to distribute those out with the number. So this number on the outside, and if there's a negative right here, that goes with this, and I'll talk about that in a second. But those need to be multiplied by everything that's in the equation. So I'm just going to write this out again. So 3x plus 6. So I'm going to distribute that out. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 6 is 18, okay? And then I'm going to pull in the rest of the equation. Negative 4, parentheses 5x minus 4, and then put plus 9x on the side just a little bit. And that is, oh, I should have messed that up, whatever. Minus 20x, and then negative 4 times negative 4 is plus positive 16 plus 9x. Okay, and I'm just going to write this out again because I messed that up. Okay, so we distributed. We did that. Okay, so next we have combining like terms. Now, your like terms are anything that essentially have the same ending. I guess that's the easiest way to explain it. So I'll just sort of put this out. So if you have a number, just a number, not the 3 and 3x, but just a number by itself. So, and I'm going to include the signs with them. That's going to make it a little bit, it's going to help out in the end. So those are like terms, because you have 18, that's the number by itself, and 16, that's the number by itself. And then I'm going to do my other like terms in green. So my other ones that I have are 3x. If it has that x attached to the number, and when I say attached, I mean like instead of saying 3 plus x, it's 3x, because this means plus and this means multiply. So if it's being multiplied or sometimes divided, that's if you have a fraction, that's what I mean by like term. So there is just an x. Now, if there was an x and an x squared, I would put the x squared in a different color than the x, just because those are different as well, but we're not right there yet. Anyway, so I'm going to combine these like terms, but I'm going to keep them on the same side of this. So on the left side, I have 3x plus 18 on the left, so I'm going to write my equal sign, and then I have negative 20 plus 9. That is together negative 11x plus 16. Okay, so I combine my like terms, and then it says move variables and numbers. So what I mean by that is you want all of your variables, and the variable is the letter that you're solving for. So again, that's your x. Move your variables to one side, and then move your numbers to the other. So I'm going to put all of my variables, oh, I'm losing space. I'm going to put all my variables on the right, and then I'm going to put all my numbers on the left. And when I say right and left, I mean like of the equal sign, sorry. All my variables on the left and all my numbers on the right of my equal sign. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to start with my variables. So I'm going to say, well, I have this doodad here, right? So I have plus 11, well, I have negative 11x on the right. So to move it to the left, I need to add it. I need to add this. So if I solve this out, this would be 0x, which is 0 times x is still 0. So I wouldn't need to write that out. So it sort of essentially just disappears from that side. Yeah. So, but if I do it on the right side, I have to do it on the left. So if you do anything on one side, you do it on the other side as well. So that's 14x, because I'm adding this to this side to move all of the x's to the right. Okay. Now, I'm going to do the same thing with my numbers. So I'm trying to move all my numbers to the left, as I've already said. So I'm going to say minus 18 on both sides. This essentially gives me 0. Okay, so I don't really need to write that out because it's not there. It doesn't exist on that side anymore. And then on the right, I have 16 minus 18 is negative 2. All right, so The last thing it says is to solve for the variable. So this is a lot of the times where a lot of these equations start. So I have, I'm actually going to move it up this way. Let's have a little bit more space. So I have 14x equals -2. So again, we're solving for x, and we have x here, but it's still attached to something, right? So that 14x really means 14 times x. Okay, so if I have 14 times x and I'm trying to get rid of that, how do I get rid of the 14 just so there's x left? Okay, well, it's the opposite of multiplication, division. So I'm going to divide by 14. So essentially what I'm doing there is this is crossing itself out, and all I'm left with is what I'm actually looking for over here. So if I do it again, if I do it on the left side, I have to do it on the right side. So if I divide it by 14 on the left, I have to divide by 14 on the right. That leaves me x equals -2 over 14. You're going to need to simplify that. And that is x equals -1/7. Okay, not all the time. I don't think your questions, your answers for these are always going to be a fraction. But I think for the most part they might be. Yeah, so anyway, that's all you need to do. I know that's sort of lengthy of an explanation, but if you take this video and you sort of work it out as you watch this as you're doing the equation, it's going to make a lot more sense. So take your time. If you need to see another example, let me know. Good luck, guys.